Fragrance World clones, super hyped right now. So I bought a few of them and I'm gonna give you first impressions on all of them. Some have dedicated videos already. If this is the first time watching the channel, I'll reiterate some of my thoughts on some of these fragrances. Cheap, available on Amazon for all you Prime holders that are spending all this money to buy toilet paper. And do they smell like their original counterparts? Let's roll my fucking music so we can check out a haul from Fragrance World. Shout out to Amazon.
We're all alone. Yeah, let's friends on the south side in case you cared. Out of all your friends, I wanna be Cuba.
Blessing morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. So I'm gonna jump right into the video and giving you guys my first impressions of these fragrances and do they smell like the original. Now, the fragrance world has gotten a big buzz and FragCon because everybody likes to find the new clone house that gets cheaper and cheaper. I mean, eventually it's gonna be in a space where clone houses are like dollar fragrances from Amazon and you're gonna get MRSA on the initial spray, allegedly. But so far the experience that I've had in Fragrance World has been very good. I'm not gonna lie about it. And one of the leading ones that popped the cherry was Fragrance World Suits, which is a clone of Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo, and right now out of all the clones, this is the leader. Super dope. I've had about 4 people try this fragrance out that are super familiar with Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo and said that for the price, which is sub $50, kind of hard to beat. Now, I'm an Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo fan. I'm gonna stay 1000% that clones are just an interpretation, a cheaper alternative, another option. And this is a very comparable option for the price point. Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo is once again sold out everywhere, very difficult to find, and you're gonna pay over $250 for that. So $50 versus $250, you do the math. I'm not here to pocket watch you or give you financial advice, but when I'm telling you that this is very comparable to Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo for a fraction of the price, Fragrance World started off very good, but can they keep that same energy? Now, the second one, I didn't love so much. It's not bad, and believe you me, a ton of other people appreciate it more than I do, but it's the Roja Elysium clone, which is called Imperium. And I mean, when they took inspiration, they took inspiration. But the fragrance isn't bad as I stated. It's taken some more growth on me. I've only worn this one more time. It isn't really bad, but I don't think it's super comparable to Elysium, but for the price point, I mean, you can get over it. I think for people who don't live with Elysium and have actually tried it and sampled it in maybe a 5 ml or a 10 ml and then smell this, I think they're gonna be quite happy, like, yo, I don't need it. I can even cap and say that it is Elysium, and if you're around people that actually recognize Elysium, that may play off fine. But like I always say, if it satisfies the scent profile you're looking for, it makes your wallet happy and your wife doesn't scream at you, that's a win-win. You're not wearing the bottle around your neck, so it really doesn't matter. If it's sexy to you, then it's sexy, period. So this one, not 100% clone, but for the price, pretty badass. Next one. Now let's get into some fragrances that I haven't smelled. They're gonna be true first impressions right now. So we're gonna start off with the Barakat Rouge 540 EDP, Barakat Rouge 540. These aren't even clones. These are like... So I took the slider sleeve off. Here's what the box looks like. This one was $25 on Amazon, and I'll put the links in the description. I get a little bit of a kickback, so thank you. And let's see what's up with this joint. I mean, full, like, they just went real deep in copying everything. But did they get the scent though? For you guys that have been following the Cubaknow channel from the beginning, my test strips are out, so we're bringing the Cubaknow test strips back. Bounty. I mean the Cubaknow test strips. Now you guys are gonna be happy to see the Cubaknow test strips. I mean, the Cubaknow test strips had a fan, bro. Bounty should have sponsored me years ago. Let's see if this joint is pretty... Man, I'm getting... That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I mean, there's a ton of people that are Barakat Rouge fans that are going to flock to this fragrance for $25. Wow, it's a lot less aggressive than I anticipated. And it has all the Barakat Rouge essences that you want. Damn, this is quite good. I mean, I'm like not the biggest Barakat Rouge fan at this point because of the saturation, not that I don't like the fragrance. I remember the first time I got exposed to Barakat Rouge and I did a video on it like 10 years ago. I loved it. And I still think it's an awesome scent profile, but it's very, very saturated. It's a little light off of my skin, I'm not gonna lie. It smelled a little bit more pronounced and it popped a little bit more off the Cubaknow test strip. Off the skin though, seems slightly faint and a little light. You still get all the essences of it. This might be something that you're gonna have to spray 4 or 5 times for you to really enjoy the look and the appeal of it. I mean, it's definitely not bad. It smelled a lot better on the test strip than it did off the skin. This might be something that you might have to overly spray to get that full Barakat Rouge experience, but scent profile wise, it's definitely up there. For $25, I would rate this joint a solid on a normal people scale. I used to rate stuff very aggressively and never give anything a 10, hardly ever a 9, but I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this as a BR 540 interpretation for $25. I give it around 6.8. Next one. I don't know how many people want an interpretation of this particular fragrance, but Terry Mugler's Amen, this one is Starman. I don't know if people are still checking for that scent profile. I personally enjoy it. It took me some time to really get into it, but hopefully Starman Starman will bring me back. Now I have the original over there and I know what the scent profile smells like. It's actually very specific, so I don't need to do a side-by-side comparison necessarily, but we'll see. This one also lives in that $25 space, which are phenomenal. Actually, most of these are in that same space. You'll know that it's under that $50 price point, actually under 40 bucks, so that's phenomenal. I smell it in the air already. Definitely amen. Harsh violet leaf. Ooh, that's a little dirty too. And dirty is in a good way. Yeah, you got that wet roof tar, hot violet leaf, slight sweet, strongish patchouli. Again, very good off the test strip, but I'm noticing that there's some discrepancies, at least on this one, on the Barakat Rouge 540 on skin. I'm gonna try it on hand and see if this Amen interpretation is good enough. But I don't think Amen's that expensive. I mean, I haven't looked it up nowadays, but everybody wants to save a buck. I know I'm a sucker. At least if I could save 5%, I'm happy. So I get it. Definitely way more pronounced off the skin than that Barakat Rouge 540 one. This one explodes off the hand. Has a little bit more of a chocolatey earthiness on this scent pro. A lot more chocolatey. The violet leaf, the patchouli, but there's a lot of chocolate depth, darkness in this one. Actually, this seems more complex than I thought. Way more complex than on the test strip. You know, it's not a full interpretation because the dark, smoky cacao-ness of Starman off the skin actually is a little bit more fun and wearable than the original Amen, which I'm happy to admit to. This is kind of a vibe, bro. If you like the Amen DNA, which is a very polarizing scent, keep that shit in mind. Like, not many people are gonna be rocking with you with that scent profile. It's not the easiest thing to just pick up and wear, but the ones who appreciate it truly do. And this is an inspired interpretation, but with a bumped up chocolatey kind of vibe, which I'm not mad at all. Actually, this has a wave that, bro, I'm so in this. This is very good. I'm gonna give this like a 7-8. This is quite good, maybe even an 8. And I'm being more charitable with my scoring. I've switched up to scoring. My old scoring used to piss people off. I'll give this like a 7-8 to 8. This is a very good interpretation with its own style, which I'm not mad at. This is good because I like Amen, so you gotta like Amen to fuck with this. Or if you really want to experiment with what Amen would have smelled like with bumped up chocolate, Starman, next one. Oh boy, a little bit of Tom Ford action in Oud Wonder, aka Oud Wood. I'm a Oud Wood fan. These guys just really ripped off the entire presentation. The disrespect. But here we go. Another one, 20-something dollars. Oud Wood, one of the sex bombs in the Tom Ford lineup. So we're gonna see here what type of energy this puppy's on and see if it's comparable to Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Also very good. I'm very impressed by this clone house so far. Very good off the test strip. On this one, it smells a little bit lighter. Still get that wet wood action. The oud here is absolutely wearable. This obviously is not real oud, but that scent profile really is broken down in that gas chromatograph machine to really harness that scent profile, which for a $20 price point, I'm gonna smell like a stripper skank with clear heels right now with all the fragrance that I have on. Shout out to the strippers and the money I've blown on you though. Interesting. I don't love how it smells on my skin. I do get the Oud Wood comparison. It's definitely there off my skin. A lot more freshness off the skin. I think it was just that first minute or so. There was something very weird off-putting that it was trying to develop into its actual mid section or really past that opening spray. It's still doing its thing off my skin, which is really weird. I gotta give this some time. Okay, it's definitely getting better. Not my favorite of the bunch that I've smelled right now. This is definitely gonna be in the 3rd place. And I get the Tom Ford Oud Wood. It's also faint off the skin. It's a little bit fresher than the original Tom Ford Oud Wood. Obviously, I'm getting more synthetic vibes off of it, which isn't bad. Synthetics is whatever. But are we close to Oud Wood? And I'm gonna say, yeah. I mean, I pinpointed it as Oud Wood. I know Oud Wood, so I'm really breaking down and dissecting for the snobs. But for the regular dude who wants Tom Ford Oud Wood energy and really wants to wear it to work because maybe you smelled it on a coworker and you know that you can match that same energy for only spending 20 bucks, you're there. I'm gonna give this joint like a 6. This one just landed right now, and it's the Barakat Amber Eve, which is the clone of MFK's Grand Soir. Now, Grand Soir has always gotten like the sharp end of the knife on my skin. For some reason, I'm a super amber fan, and this is an amber fragrance. What the fuck is up with this? Is it not a slider sleeve? This shit is all stuck. Come on, fam. Like, what are we doing? It's like child safety lock. For some reason, Grand Soir off of my skin just didn't play off. And as big as an amber fan I am, I don't know why. This was a couple of years ago. I haven't sprayed it on my skin in a decent amount of time. I don't own the fragrance. Maybe I'll revisit it, but who knows? Maybe I like the clone and this will just do fine. It's kind of the space that we're in right now. We're gonna find out if we really need it. Now, I'm a person who buys clones and originals of the same fragrance. It's part of my business, part of my vibe, and I just like it. Why not? So here is what Barakat Amber Eve looks like. Take another test strip out. Now, I haven't smelled Grand Soir in a decent amount, but it's not a hard to get fragrance. So let's see if this joint is a decent alternative. smells very Christmassy. It's definitely unwinding. So I'm starting to realize that the initial sprays, that aeration period in these fragrances, it feels like the molecules split apart and they somehow come back together. Like you spray it smells weird, off-putting, and they just have to marry onto something and latch together for it to formulate like a decent scent profile, because you smell it unraveling as we speak. So it starts out like you really got to give it a second to give it that first impressions. It changes so quick. I wouldn't say that this is that close. This smells like a cornucopia on Thanksgiving. It smells like a potpourri bag that you buy like on Home Goods. This completely smells like fall, Thanksgiving, Halloween, leaves turning, autumn, all the colors of autumn, orange, cinnamon, nutmeggy, spicy. There is ambery notes in here, but it doesn't scream Grand Soir to me at all. Let me spray over here. Oh my God, I hate having all this fragrance on me. This is the shit that I hate when I test a bunch of fragrances on my skin throughout the day and I got all this scent profile on me. As a fan of fragrance, having a whole mix of fragrances on me annoys the shit out of me. It just screams holidays. It's damn near herbal to some point. It just screams leaves turning, amber, potpourri, the home section at some department store, a little bit woody, but I don't get the refinement and the appeal from that Grand Soir, because I'm assuming that this is what it's trying to go after based on the look, and I don't get that. It's not bad, but it's not great. I'll give this like a 4.9. It's about a 4.9. I almost forgot the pure malt interpretation. This one was good. I've already done a video on this joint, but we'll re-smell this joint. I can't believe I almost forgot this one. This is definitely up there with the Amen right from jump. Yes, I do like this one very much. You absolutely get that pure malt energy. And that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna have more Fragrance World fragrances coming soon. So definitely these two, the Amen line ones, they did great. Followed by Barakat Rouge 540 interpretation, then the Elysium, then the Oud Wood, and lastly, the Grand Soir. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Let me know if you like this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get your boy to 100K, and let me know what other Fragrance World clones you want me to check out. I'll see y'all snitches next time. You know what is biggest in the game. Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.